Good evening, listeners and viewers to TDN, and in particular, my audience, my friends of This Week in Interview. Welcome back to another episode of This Week in Interview, September 20th, 2023, with your host and guide, Anthony Drago. You know, on a Wednesday, the highlight of my week is to spend that hour or so with you. And so I welcome you coming, gathering. We are going to talk tonight about the most essential thing on life, on earth, um, water. We're in particular going to talk about rivers, which is one way in which water presents itself to us for our use and our benefit. I have two really passionate and distinguished guests tonight on tap, Father Franklyn Cuffy and Mr. Michael Etienne, and we're going to be talking about Sunday, upcoming Sunday, the 24th of September is World Rivers Day. And so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, rivers. And if you know anything about Dominica, you know that Dominica is full of rivers, just full of rivers. And so we think that the World Rivers Day is a special day in Dominica. We're trying to make everybody, our objective, I should say, is to make everybody understand how special Dominica is for the amount of water and rivers that we have available to us. So, as I said, gather around, coming close. But while you're doing that, I want you to invite someone to join us. Because we're going to be talking tonight is going to be a really exciting and stimulating conversation. So invite your friends, invite your family, invite anybody. I always challenge you to invite 5 people to join us. So let's do that quickly while you're doing that. And when we come back in just a moment, you and 5 other people will be on. All right, welcome back. I hope this was enough time for you to invite folks to join us. I hope you had time to get your favorite refreshment or beverage or snack, because I promise you, you will not want to move away from here for the next hour or so that we're having this wonderful conversation about something that is so essential. Good evening to you, my regular listeners. You come back every Wednesday night. There are some folks who have been coming here every Wednesday night to spend an hour with me for the last 7, 8 years. There are a few of them that are longer than that, and I appreciate you so much for coming back every Wednesday, my regular listeners. I really like the fact that I mean enough to you. We at TDN mean enough to you that you come back every Wednesday. You've made us a habit, and so we want to be a good habit. And if tonight is the first time that you're joining us on This Week in Interview, welcome to you as well. A very special welcome to you. I hope you like the way we do things here, that you too will become a regular listener. If you're listening to us from Dominica, the Nature Isle, you may be watching us on DG Play Channel 59. RVR Jams Radio carries This Week in Interview live on DG Play Channel 59. Also, Radio SBE Online in Toronto carries This Week in Interview live as well. And so we're also streaming on our own page, our This Week in Interview page on Facebook, our TDN, TDN Radio Facebook page. There's a link on the screen right now. It's a link that if you click on that link, it gives you different options that you can use to get to TDN. If you don't do Facebook, we are live on tdntv.net, as well as TDN Radio. In case you're driving or you're doing something where you need your eyes and your focus, you can put us on tdnradio.net, and listen to us without being distracted by having to look at the screen. We're also on YouTube, CDN Network 1 on YouTube. We are on Roku. We are on Instagram and all the other various media pages. You can find us there. So if you didn't do it before, now is the time to share the live and gather around, folks. Tonight we are celebrating, and I will say we are celebrating the fact that on Sunday coming, Sunday the 24th of September, is World Rivers Day. It's declared World Rivers Day. And if you are from Dominica, that should be a special day for you because Dominica is made up of rivers. World Rivers Day, Sunday, September 24th. And there's a challenge out there by Wave. Wave was very instrumental in putting this program together tonight. They say post a photo of your favorite river with yourself, family, and friends. Use the hashtag Day of Action for Rivers. Rivers Unite Us. So good evening to all the members of Wave who are tuned in. As a matter of fact, one of my guests tonight, Father Franklyn Cuffy, is the chairman of Wave. Wave is no stranger. We collaborate with them on World Soils Day. We collaborate with them World Rivers Day. We collaborate with them on World Water Day. But tonight I have the chairman, Father Franklyn Cuffy, although he's wearing the hat tonight as chairman of the Dominica World Rivers Day Committee. So Dominica World Rivers Day Committee, Father Cuffy is the chairman of that. Also tonight is a very dynamic young man, very involved in the community and representing his community and his folks really well. He is the president of the Delices Upliftment Committee, the president of the Delices Upliftment Committee, and this River Day Committee as well. And he's going to be here talking because, you know, one of the most iconic rivers, if you can call it that, is the White River. The White River is in Delices, and a lot of folks go there to do picnics and to use it for other uses, washing and usual bathing and so on. But the White River is a destination in Dominica. It's called the White River. Well, I'll let him tell us why he called it White River. I wouldn't spoil it for you. And even if you're not from Dominica, you may be from one of the other islands. Do you have rivers in your country? And what condition are they in? You know, you can put a note in the chat where you're from. If you're from Dominica, I want you to put in the chat what is your favorite river. And if you're from Dominica and you live somewhere else and you know that there's a river that is your favorite, don't be shy. Don't be shy. We will honor you and say, oh, there's a river. Really, there's a river somewhere in the world that's more special than all the rivers in Dominica. And of course, all focused on river, we have a very special treat for you at the bottom of the hour when we take our commercial break. When we come back, you want to be there for that. Very, very special treat. But let me not waste much more time. Let me bring my guest on. Father Franklyn Cuffy, he is the chairman of the Dominica World Rivers Day Committee, and Mr. Michael Etienne of the Delices Upliftment Committee. There's another committee that I don't want to say the name. I'll let you say it because my memory doesn't put the words together in exactly the right order. But I mean, Delices Upliftment Committee tells it all of your interest and your passion for your community work. But I hope you don't mind if I go to Father Coffee first. He seems like he is your senior, so I will give deference to that. And so, Father Coffee, I want to say a very special welcome to you. I think I've had you on the show at least one time before. So let me say welcome
Yes,
back
I think so.
to
Maybe
this week
it
in
was
interview.
another World Rivers Day activity.
It
Yeah.
definitely
But
was
I am
another World
happy
Rivers
to
Day.
be here with you this evening, especially, with Michael here. Um, if we were to go back, you asked me, about my passion. Well, in a nutshell, I began working with Bernard Wilshire in WEF, White Ecological Foundation. when we discuss the national trail, no mention, made of the people, especially Bernard. I do not think justice was done, as far as the national trail is concerned. But we were meeting, preparing for that, and eventually a big sum of money came, after all our hard work, 46, I believe, $1 million was available to implement the trail. And then the capital pull on the, I would say, our feet, and then it was handed over to government, but it's all in Dominica's interest. I can say the same thing. I've been working for the Rivers, the World Rivers Day, as chairperson a number the past 15 years since we have been promoting World Rivers Day in Dominica. In fact, in 2007, we were for the first time in Delices, and we tried to have the normal thing in Delices. But our biggest disappointment with that event then in 2007, or World Rivers Day, the serious business took place. And when it came to the entertainment, we saw people coming out from every tree, behind every tree. We don't know where they came from. We were very, very disappointed with that. That was in 2000.
And
Uh,
seven.
uh, and the following year for World Rivers Day, again, we attempted to go to the Indian River, but we couldn't get access to the banks of the river. You spoke about ratifying that a declaration. We couldn't get access to Indian River, so we went to Layo in 2008, and we had our TTW Fest. Again, that was my idea to have a TTW Fest. And in fact, talking about TTW Fest, I went to a restaurant 2 Sundays ago with my brothers, and everybody sat down. And when I spoke, the owner of the place said, "That voice sounds familiar." And he said, "Is that the man talking about the TTW?" So and the other guys laughed, and then he asked me to make another statement to confirm the voice. So TTW, that was it. So our disappointment with that World Rivers Day TTW Fest, and I was happy when we were planning our 2023. A statement was made that they do not want rum and noise, in our 2023 celebration. So I was very pleased for that. So there we are. We are here. Today we had fruit planting in Delices, and again, I would like Michael
Yeah.
to talk about that.
Let's
You
let,
know?
so we right off the bat, I want to say thank you on behalf of Dominica for all what you have done and are doing to help us value our rivers more and to preserve them. And we'll talk about that in more detail. Let me go to our next guest, Michael, Mr. Michael Etienne. It's your first time on this weekend interview, so very
Yes,
warm welcome to you. It's good to have you. I
thank
wonder
you so
if you
much.
were one of the folks in 2007 who Father Coffee was able to reach and influence, even if he didn't know that. He just thought that Dalish people came out for the Fed, but you were influenced, and we can see the fruits of his work. But welcome, Michael. Tell
Yes,
us a little bit about yourself.
yes, good evening. It's a pleasure to be on the show, in such company as yourself and Father Coffee. Um, yes, this year, well, I'm Michael Etienne. I'm president of the Delices Upliftment Committee, which is a committee that was geared to do such things. One of our main goals in forming the committee was to uplift the village, and one of our biggest item on our agenda was the adoption of the Delices White River.
Mm.
Um, I'm also the president of the Delices Preparedness Committee, which is the committee.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the preparedness committee is the committee that is geared towards safeguarding and educating and ensuring the safety of the citizens of Delices during a hurricane. As you know, we are very prone to hurricanes, not just being in the Caribbean, but our position in Dominica and the southeast section of the country, we are very vulnerable on that side. But suffice to say, um, Father Franklyn Cuffy reached out to the committee at sometime during August. When I met him by the river, he said, Michael, the International Rivers Day is 44 days away. What are we going to do? And I said, well, with people of your elite, superiority and stuff like that, there is something that can be done. So the Delices White River, this majestic river, which sources the boiling lake that flows all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, and in its path lies the majestic Victoria Falls. That is where the official International Rivers Day function in Dominica is going to be this year. We have a quite packed function. As a matter of fact, Mr. Drago, our activity started today. Today we went to the Dallas Primary School and
Mm-hmm.
we got all the students engaged in tree planting. And not
Wow.
just
Wow.
any tree planting, we got them engaged with fruit tree planting.
Mm.
Um, and we did not plant it for them. We have the pictures of, little kids, between 9, 10, 11, 8, 6 years old, planting fruit trees, mulberry, guava cherry trees, bread nut trees. And that was a fantastic little ceremony for the kids because we must be mindful that I personally believe that in the next 20, 25 years, water is going to be the most important resource in this world. And we have to ensure that Dominica takes a stand to protect that gift we have from God, which is these pristine rivers we have flowing for our communities. So I'm excited to be here tonight. I look forward to the discussion. And I know that at the end of this evening, um, Dominicans far wide, the international community, the regional community, will know more about our rivers, especially the White River, and it will sensitize more people to appreciate the rivers that has been given to us by the Lord Almighty.
Thank you and welcome again. Father Coffee, from 2007 to now 2003, a lot of hard work has gone into sensitizing the folks in Dominica about the rivers. Dominica has so much water and so much rain and so many rivers that it's very easy to take it for granted. And so I want to give you a little moment right at the start of the program to talk about World Rivers Day. What what is the objective? What's the purpose behind having such a day? And what is your vision of how you think Dominica should be embracing World Rivers Day?
We need to recognize a gentleman by the name of Mark Angelo from British Columbia. After 25 years of taking care of the river in his backyard, the United Nations recognized what he was doing for water in the world. 25 years, working. And then his work was recognized by the United Nations. And in 2005, the last Sunday in September was declared World Water Day. Okay, we as a nation, Dominica was signatory to that decision. And every year we have whole, what is the Minister of Agriculture or somebody else talk about, But what I think is very, very crucial, again, I said it last time, is for us as a people, as a nation, to ratify last Sunday in September as World Rivers Day. Unless this is done, I mean, what we have been doing, I will not say it's a waste of time, but I think it will not bear the fruits that we would like. There's no need to throw in the towel. Before our show, we spoke about a young child, a young lady, topping the exams, GCA exams, and getting and deciding at the end to go and do environment engineering. I mean, what else can give us courage and give us hope when you say it's a young girl thinking about environment engineering, So that for me has made my work over the years, very interesting.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, in spite of all that happening, we still have people dumping octopus in one of our biggest rivers, the Layu River. The good thing with that, somebody saw that and brought the attention, say something is not right with that. And that person could move, take photos and posted it and some to me. That happened on Saturday and Sunday morning. The minister, my pal rep, Minister of Health, he sent a statement from the government to me. I don't know why me, but he sent it to me. And we, WEF, we put out a statement saying that we would contribute, give some generous reward if we can get that person to court. Okay? We haven't heard anything. We are very happy that the government would put out a statement that they are not happy with that act.
Right.
Okay, but it seems this has a case has gone cold. So I'm taking this opportunity to bring it up very early to say that we will not rest until we find out who are the culprits who dumped the octopus. Today's octopus. Tomorrow it will be a donkey. Tomorrow they'll say to somebody who kill a cow, your meat is not worth eating, and the person will dump it in the river. The person who dumped the octopus in the river, justice has to be done. In fact, the next March 14 is Action for the River, and the theme for that is Rivers Have Rights. Rivers have rights, just you and I have rights. So we need to take a stand today to say, we have to stop abusing our environment. That's why we were happy when we heard that Delices were revising a group that was dormant for 10 years. And they were talking about the Upliftment Committee, and the main item, according to what I heard, was adopting the river. I said World Rivers Day 2023 have to happen in Delices
So you
because
can
of
go,
the
you can go
stand
there and
that.
give them the support
But yes,
yeah.
I said no. Let's go there again. So we are happy, and that's
Yeah.
why we are here this evening talking about the White River.
And Michael,
Yes.
the theme for this year has it talks about community ownership of our waterways.
Right.
Um, and
Right.
so you are your committee, you're the chairman of the Delices Upliftment Committee,
Committee. Yeah.
and what you guys aptly recognize the existence of the White River in your village as one of the major assets of that village.
Yes.
A,
Yes.
a lot of people recognize that. I'm from Castle Bruce, and we have a few rivers in Castle Bruce, including one that's called the Castle Bruce River. But
Right.
we don't see people taking ownership of the river and being good stewards of the river and taking responsibility for the river. So I want you to expound on that a bit. How does your committee envisage its relationship
Yes.
with you guys and the White River?
Okay. Yes. I can do that. Before I do that, let me go back to the person who started International Water Day and subsequently International Rivers Day, Mark Angelo. He made a profound statement. He said that rivers are the arteries of our planet. They are lifelines in the truest sense.
That's
And
right.
and that is a profound statement. And the Daily Upliftment Committee, when we think about the statement, we said to ourselves, how can we help? How can we ensure that this river lives in infamy and outlive all our generations? And we endeavored to say, hey, listen, let us and the committee, let the committee move forward in adopting this river. And I'm very appreciative of the fact that Father Franklyn Cuffy reached out to us. And the theme for this year's river is a healthy environment with healthy rivers create healthy nations. And when you think of Dominica and the perennial rivers that we have, the rivers that flow with a reliable source, perennial rivers. We Delices is one of the areas where the White River has as its source the boiling lake, and the nutrients that flows in that river is a very healthy source of nutrients for each and every one. People come to the village not just to bathe, but to participate in what is called rejuvenating of the mind, body, and spirit. And that is what the White River does. Sometimes during the year it's more milky than other times. Sometimes it's turquoise, like almost bluish on other times. But the White River is, as a matter of fact, I think the White River should be mentioned as one of our national treasures, and we should seek to ensure that we participate in every way possible to ensure that. And my thing is, how do we do that? Where do we start? You know,
Right.
and we have to start with the young children. We have to teach them the importance of trees. We have to teach them the importance of keeping the riverways clean. We have to teach them of the importance of being mindful of climate change and the devastation it can cause to us if we don't do what's necessary to ensure that this river is safe. Is safe. So, following in the footsteps of Fire Coffee, we plan to use the opportunity, this opportunity of International Rivers Day, not as any other International Rivers Day, but as a springboard to other International Rivers Day, where we can build upon the momentum, not just one specific day. Let us use rivers in Dominica, around the country, not just the White River, and promote them, promote the healthiness of them. Um, um, Seek after legislation that would ensure that not just once a year, but 2, 3 times a year, there are environmental positive impacts that includes rivers. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
So
so I would just like to add to that.
go ahead.
Another thing that drew our attention to that Dallas area was what's happening in the valley. And personally, I was concerned about the impact that what's going on in the valley was having on the river. And
For
of
those who are
course,
not Dominicans or in the valley, you mean Trafalgar Lola
right,
area.
that
Okay.
area, the geothermal, and we have
Mhm.
the aerial tram to the boiling lake. I
Right.
myself have been to the boiling lake on 4 times. And then every time people are asked, can we swim in the boiling lake? And of course, the answer to that is no. But as Michael said, the boiling lake feeds the
The White River.
White River. So if we bathe in the White River, we are bathing in the water from the boiling lake. Okay, and I'm suggesting to them, we have to think ahead, that we have t-shirts with the slogan, I swam in the waters of the boiling lake in Delices.
Right.
Okay, so we have t-shirts for that. I was healed from the waters of the boiling lake in Delices. So there are a lot of slogans we can put on things. By the way, Mr. Etienne, that's copyright, eh? So when you start making
Yeah.
no, but on a serious note, if
Yeah.
we're spending so much money to take people to have an aerial view of the boiling lake, we need to spend and invest in the waters that flow from the boiling lake into the water or the community of Delices. So I would like to see that approach as well. All what Michael say is good, but it's an opportunity. If we are investing so much to take an aerial view, we need to make use, financial use, economical use of the water that's flowing from the lake as well.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
did not
And
know.
and
I did
and,
not
and
know
that
that
that's
the
a
I was saying
Right?
I did not know that the boiling lake was the source of the White River. So I learned something tonight.
Okay.
Go ahead, Michael. What were you
yeah.
saying?
Yes. Yes. Based on what Father Coffee just said, it also holds an economic value for the village as well. I would like to see that the White River becomes a destination when the tourist season opens, and that could be one of the added values that could be added to the advertisements that they have when tourists visit the country. Because I've known people being from Delices, I've known people who have come from overseas just to take a dock in the White River for their fourth time over the years. So there are a number of things we can do to have all those different resourceful persons, the NGOs, people like the involved in WAVE, the Delices Upliftment Committee, to ensure that we do what's necessary to ensure that we preserve our waterways, and preserving our waterways will in turn help us to preserve our country, because I believe that I have a strong belief that the way things are going right now in terms of climate change and hurricanes and earthquakes and stuff like that, Dominica can position itself in sustainability, and that will prevail over time to show that the world that it can be done. But we have to target the young people. We have to bring a sense of purpose back to the schools when it comes to our civic responsibility when it pertains to the environment.
Yes, certainly. And so, Father Coffee, I'm coming back to you with pretty much the same question about ownership. Because Michael, both you and Michael spoke about, well, if you own something, you should be able to benefit from it as an asset. So what are the characteristics of the river? That's kind of like what we would like pretty much everybody to do. If you have a river in your village, or two or three, why don't you take an inventory and brainstorm on how is that river serving the community, and what potential is there for the community to realize even more benefit from the river. But with benefit and privilege comes responsibility. And so Father Coffee, before we take the break, I want you to talk very quickly about the stewardship, the protection aspect, the responsibility aspect that our community is supposed to have towards our river, and what that should look like.
Yeah, before we go on, I have one disappointment with Mr. Etienne. When we met on Emancipation Day in Delices, we spoke and I told him why I was there and why we chose. And he said to me, "Oh, I can put a program in one day." That's for August Monday. I said, there is funding available, but people will not give you funding until you take ownership, until
Right.
you're serious. So we need to put programs. If you're going to adopt the river, is it for a year? Is it for 6 months? What are your plans? Okay. And if you
Right.
put that on paper, okay, people will sponsor you. In fact, I promised the chairperson of
Right.
the
We're in the process of
will
doing that.
sponsor
And
$1,000 because there is money available, but we as a people have to get serious. I brought a lady from Trinidad and I brought most of the village councils in Dominica together, and she told them about making programs for Adopt a River program, and not one. That is why when I heard the Upliftment Committee talking about adopting the Delices River and want it to be a blueprint for the rest of that did something to me.
right.
So I'm very excited
So Michael,
about
Right.
you have a challenge. Michael, you have a challenge to make
Yes.
your river a pilot project to show how
Right.
community ownership of a
Yes,
river
and
is
that is
done.
exactly, Mr. Drago. That is why the Upliftment Committee is working so hard to make the International Rivers Day this year a success. Because when we write this program, when we put this project together, we can look back, and the sponsorship can look back and say, yes, these people are serious. This is what they intend to do, and they have something to look at on what we have done in order for us to ensure that we can adopt this river. And by the way, we're trying to adopt the river all the way from the Victoria Falls to the Atlantic Ocean. And you made a statement a while ago saying that what is it about our river? I think accessibility is one thing. You can drive right onto the White River, right into the river. And there will be pools that we will ensure that we can maintain so that whatever time during the year you come to the river, you will be able to take a good bath. And then we will have cleanup campaigns and we'll ensure that the river remains pristine, not just for a year, but forever. And that's the mandate we have given ourselves when it comes to the Delices White River.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. We're pushing against a little bit. But remember, Folks, I promise you a special treat right after the word from our sponsors. If you joined me after we started, my guest tonight on This Week in Interview is Father Franklyn Cuffy. He is the chairman of the Dominica World Rivers Day Committee, and also Mr. Michael Etienne, who is the president of both the Delices Disaster Committee as well as the Delices Upliftment Committee. And they're here, we're talking about World Rivers Day, which is this coming Sunday, the last Sunday in September, which is the 24th of September this year, is recognized all around the globe as World Rivers Day. And so Father Cuffy and his group has put together a wonderful program of activities. The Delices Upliftment Committee has decided that this World Rivers Day, they're going to launch a serious campaign to take ownership of the White River, one of the iconic rivers in Dominica. And we're talking about what that would look like and what shape that's going to take so that it can be a beacon, a pilot, an example of what can be done all around Dominica. So don't go anywhere. Let's take a word from our sponsors and we'll be right back.
Presented by.
People say I've got a great smile. Well, I have to say, this is all thanks to the professional team at Beacon Dental Group right here in Dorchester, Massachusetts. I've got world-class dental care. Beacon Dental Group has expert and caring staff dedicated to providing the most advanced and satisfactory treatment in all aspects of oral health. Their services are designed to meet your needs and give you a perfect smile, too. General checkups, cosmetic surgery, Gemini laser service, and advanced procedures, all in a state-of-the-art facility. Call or visit Beacon Dental Group today, 1026 Blue Hill Avenue, Dorchester, Massachusetts, or call 617-282-2146 for a smile that lights the world.
How much Dominican history do you know? Want to learn some fun facts? We have a great and fun way to test your knowledge and learn more about our history. Get your copy of Dominic Anu, Dominica in Puzzle. Fun for the whole family. Available now on Amazon.com. Visit pushpast10.com to learn more. Email us at dominicainpuzzle@gmail.com or call 877-698-9894.
If you live in Canada, the US, and the UK and are looking for Dominica products including cocoa sticks, bay rum, coffee, soaps, crafts, and other popular Dominica items, then look no further. You can now shop on BuyDominicaOnline.com, a secure, easy-to-navigate website selling a wide variety of Dominica-made and Dominica-inspired products. When you shop on BuyDominicaOnline.com, you are helping to grow Dominica's economy. Go to BuyDominicaOnline.com and enjoy home away from home.
Looking to promote your business, engage current customers, and reach new people? Well, look no further. From the basic presentation to a fully fledged advertisement, use your video ads to attract customers. At Man's Audiovisual Productions, we do just that. We produce videos for business and event promotions, product demo videos, animated explainer videos, fundraiser ads, and much, much more. Engage your clients and sell online. We customize the video to match your brand design. Guaranteed to play flawless on all devices, including smart TVs. Contact us at telephone number 203-690-4342 or 767-245-6238. Visit our website, mansaudiovisual.com, or email us at derekvideo@gmail.com.
White river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine. Water from the heavens, fire from the earth, volcanic eruption gave you birth. Earth, air, fire, water, elements combine, like the star of rivers. You shine. White river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine. People come from near and far for the healing of your volcanic sulfur, healing for ailments of the skin with a refreshing swim. You also heal within. World's second largest boiling lake, your source. Down through the hills, you chart a course to the beautiful Point Mulat Bay. In song we express your praise today. White river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine. Water from the heavens, fire from the earth, volcanic eruption gave you birth. Earth, air, fire, water elements combine. No doubt you are indeed divine. White river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine. World's second largest boiling lake, your source. Down hills and valleys, you carved your course to your mouth at beautiful Point Mulat Bay. Delices folks give thanks for you when we pray. You're a part of our people's heritage, serving them through many an age. We end up with words in rhythm and rhyme as we repeat one more time. White river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine. Water from the heavens, fire from the earth, volcanic eruption gave you birth. Earth, air, fire, water, elements combine. No doubt you are indeed divine. White river, so divine.
All right, that was Rasmo and his poem about the White River. So,
But before you go on, could I say something quickly on that? I had an interview with Kyrie TV, and during our discussion, I said, we're talking about rivers in general. I said that the White River should be a national shrine for us as Dominicans. Okay? So that was it. The next morning, when I looked at my WhatsApp, I got this poem from Rasmo. So I asked myself, was that a coincidence?
right.
The day before, I spoke about White River being our national shrine. And the next morning, I'm getting the poem, White River,
Getting the
You
poem from
Are
Rasmus.
Divine. Is that a coincidence?
I don't think it's
What I like in that we
yeah
spoke about our
ancestral.
ancestral shrine. I say as a people, we need, for the adopted program, we have 3 R's: reclaim, rescue, and restore. And that's what I see Michael and his group doing.
Yeah.
We need to rescue, the White River, and we need to restore it. Replace the pools that Erica destroyed, replace the pool that Maria destroyed. And I'm hoping Michael say you will have it on Sunday.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to
Right,
that.
right.
I hope we can, one more thing, I hope we can invite our new president to come and wash her feet in the White River before she entered the White House. Okay, I'm looking forward for that. I hope the
Yes,
invitation went out. So I ask the question, was that a coincidence? Was that a coincidence? Or is God telling us something
yes.
in 2020?
And
Michael,
also,
the challenge is there.
and also to thank you. And it's a challenge that we will greatly appreciate and take care of. Also, Mr. Drago, Rasmus from Delices.
Right.
Rasmus is in that
Yeah,
river
amen.
all the time. And it's and with the interview I had on DBS with the youth, one of the things that stuck with me with this, I mean, this poem, this ritual, this beating of the drums, is how true the whole scenario is. Waters from the heavens and fire from the earth flowing down to the Atlantic, and Daly's White River has a lot of history too. Even when I was growing up, I mean the Bassin Peterson, Bassin Joseph, Bassin M.A.D. These are iconic people that used to live in the village. So all those things we look forward to bringing back to ensure that, as you rightly said, Mr. Anthony Drago, to create that beacon for the rest of the country when it comes to our rivers.
Right. And you have the 3 R's as your challenge.
Yes.
To rescue, to reclaim, and to restore. And so if you keep those 3 things in mind, you certainly will be traveling along the right path as to what it is. Father Coffee, you want to
No, you mentioned a few names there. I also think, we need to revisit the Falls, Victoria Falls. What does that mean for us as a community? We need to, can we put an ancestor's name? You mentioned a number of names there. Could one of the people named by Michael be named after, to make it more relevant for us in 2023? Our student who is studying environment engineering today, what does Victoria Falls impact that would happen? We're just throwing those
yeah, this stuff.
Yeah.
Let me jump in and take a few comments. So let me take a few comments that we have from some of our viewers. Alvin says that if you need help, he is sure that there are Dominicans in the diaspora who would be willing to assist you.
Yeah.
And I know him, so I can give you his number so he can help you to marshal and mobilize the help from the diaspora. Rosalind says, I never knew the name of the river in 1 mile in Portsmouth. I guess Father Coffee might be able to help you with that. As a child, it was a beautiful river, vibrant with tata, crayfish, VO, bassin to bathe in, and areas for washing clothes, a lot of laughter. Now you can hardly see anything close to what it used to be. And again, Alvin says, please, Michael, let's protect the White River. Hats off to you and for the work that you do, as well as Father Coffee. So we have a lot of support and encouragement from those in the audience. And Father Coffee, and both you and Michael, you can respond to that, because the official activities for World Rivers Day is taking place at the White River in Delices.
Yes.
So I want to run through some of the activities. From what you said, some activities have already started. So Father Coffee, I'll start with you, and then we'll go to Michael. What are some of the activities that have been done? But even more importantly, what are some of the activities that's upcoming that we can invite people to so they can plan to attend and come and support?
Well, I prefer Michael to think because I'm on my way out. No, my
Okay.
way out.
Well, either
But
one. Whoever
Okay.
whoever has it, then they can
All right.
share it.
no, but what I'm saying, before Michael tell us what's happening on in Delices, for instance, we had coastal ocean cleanup on Sunday in Rockaway, and it was sponsored by the Coca-Cola department. So we
Mhm.
all got red T-shirts. That was in Rockaway.
Mhm.
In Donkey Beach next door, there was another young group, the 4-H clubs, work together. We had activity in Layo. I believe there's going to be something in Indian River last year. In Portsmouth, they are very, very successful World Rivers Day activity. In Grand Bay, all over the place. La Roche, Tokari, Sari, Tarita, all those places are going to have activities. So that is okay. But we hope after everybody do their thing in their community, let us come again. Let us see what's happening in Delices. Today, fruit tree planting with students. Saturday, they will be doing river cleanup and beautification. And on Sunday, they will be celebrating the rivers of Dominica, not only in Delices. I even hear bikers will be coming and joining us on that day. And we want every biker, if they're coming, they will only allow to cross the bridge if they have helmets on. So, we're sending out this one in as well.
Right.
Okay, so Michael is going to tell us, it's not, yes, we are
Yes.
focusing on our ancestral shrine. We're focusing on that, but we want to start from sunrise to sunset, and we
Right.
want the day to end in Delices.
Right.
So Michael, take it over. Tell us
Yes.
about the
On,
Yampe eating
yes.
competition.
On Saturday, we begin one of the R's, rescue. We're going to be cleaning the river. We're going to have students with us and participation from the rank and file of the village to go down to that river on that day and begin the process of cleaning the river. Because sometimes you pass by the river and it appears to be clean until you go in there and you start cleaning it. Then you realize how it wasn't clean. Also on that day, Fine Foods has partnered with us to put up a beautiful sign by the river with a few interesting comments on there. It will be unveiled on Sunday as well. And on Sunday, the 24th, and all that is in keeping in tune with our Adopt the White River program. On Sunday is the official White Rivers Day in Delices. It begins at 10 a.m. with a church service at the Laroche Catholic church grounds. The church was, utterly destroyed during Hurricane Maria. However, the Upliftment Committee has seen it fit to rejuvenate it as we're trying to do the river as well. So last Saturday we did a massive cleanup and prepare the grounds. We're going to put some tents up and we're going to have a wonderful service at the Laroche Catholic Church beginning at 10 a.m. Then about an hour and a half later, we will proceed down to the river where the theme for that day is breadfruit. We're going to have a nice function on the river where the river is going to be blessed. A nice function with the ministers of government, forestry, and all participating dignitaries. And when it comes to the eats, it's going to be everything breadfruit roast, breadfruit boil, breadfruit pizza, breadfruit juice, breadfruit cake. We even have a secret breadfruit recipe that we're not disclosing as of yet. So on that day, it's going to be breadfruit everything. Also, we are looking to planting some breadfruit and breadnut trees along the sides of the river to maintain and stop erosion and stuff like that. It's going to be good. Another thing we'll be doing that is in tune with the spirit of our ancestors and the spirit of what's the shrine and stuff like of Delices is that on that day we will be honoring Mr. Moses James. He has lived on the riverbanks of Fontofe, which is a part of the White River Tract, for decades. And this man has ensured that this river around his environment has remained pristine. He has taken care of it. He's also an elder. He's also a herb specialist. So we'll be bringing him to the river on that day and we'll be honoring him. And that's what it has to take to bring back the young and the old. Because one of the things that's lacking in our communities today is the fact that we have forgotten our history. We have forgotten how to bring back people to the realm of what is going on, how it used to be, and what it should be. Because sitting right here, right now, I can remember 2 or 3 rivers that are no more even in Delices. We had Grand River, close to where I'm sitting right now, and it doesn't flow at all.
Grand River, right?
Yeah, on the Barbelville stretch. And people do not know that that river used to flow 365 days a year.
So much so that it was called Grand River. That means
Yeah,
it wasn't a ravine, it
that's
had
all right.
significant
Yeah,
flow. Mhm.
it had a significant flow. And now this river is no more. And the youth of the day don't even have any inclination that there was a river there.
Mhm.
Okay? So we have to get that particular history indoctrinated in the young people and letting them know that when they reach my age, they might not have the White River. So now is the time. So we really look forward to Sunday. I wish I could prepackage a little breadfruit recipe and send to Mr. Drygo up in the States.
Listen to Alvin. Alvin is saying, wow, he's more watering for the breadfruit.
Yeah, yes, everything breadfruit, and we have the
But talking about breadfruit, I'm looking forward to. They also talk about tonton
tonton,
Tonton.
okra,
yampe competition,
fish, herring,
and yes,
breadfruit
tonton.
pizza.
You
Yeah,
have to decide before the competition, will it take it with water or without water? So can you imagine Toto eating competition without water? That should be an interesting scenario as
well,
well.
As
So
long
they're going
as
to
long
be
as we have the
tough.
medical, as long as we have the medical personnel on hand for people when they
yeah.
start to choke on that
Oh
water,
yes, we will. Yeah.
Well, we have the healing waters of the White River next door, so we can.
next door.
I don't think
Yeah,
choking will be a problem. But the
yeah,
tonton will be there with Sancoach, and and
right.
um, and it's not just the recipes for that day. It's the fact that the recipes will bring back memories,
Definitely.
memories because um 30, 40 years ago, when people went to their farms, there was no transportation. They had to walk back home 4 or 5 in the afternoon. What did they do? They roasted bread by the river. So the kids and the young ones need to know this is how it used to be. And we need to preserve that aspect, that historical perspective to ensure that moving forward, not just for Dallas, but for Dominica, it can happen.
Certainly. The talk about Toto, and one of my favorite childhood memories is eating Toto with fish pot fish.
Exactly.
My father used to have fish pots. You go raise fish pot, and you come back with the fish, and you make a nice sauce, and you
Yep.
eat yam and tonton with that.
I
A lot of people. I never turn up my nose at tonton. It's one of my favorite forms of eating. You know.
something I will never get away from my memory? The way my grandmother used to volley that toto.
Yeah, man.
That's
two fingers and that.
with some okra in there.
And it's gone to
Gone,
keep
man,
it
gone.
lubricated, right? But we're pushing up against the hour.
Yeah.
Father Coffee, you know, we're talking here, but it's not all a rosy picture. I know you spoke about some of the violations that's happened in the Lai River. Um, ownership, community ownership of the river means protection. And maybe the White River is a little bit spared from construction and harvesting of rocks and all kinds of stuff that I see happening on the rivers in Dominica. But Father Coffee, I
No,
want to give you a
sorry,
moment to just
I
talk.
tend to disagree with you. I tend to disagree with food. It's been
It's
impacted
not
as well.
it's
Yeah, it's been
that's
impacted
even
as
worse.
well.
That's
And
even
even
worse.
to take it
Yeah.
a little further, our freshwater lake today is in serious trouble. The freshwater lake is it's as low today as it hasn't been for some time. So the freshwater lake today need attention at this very moment as we speak. Yes, sorry.
So
And
talk
the
about
blackouts we are
no,
having in Dominica.
talk talk about that need that people need to be more aggressive, not violent, aggressive,
Yeah, yeah.
forward leaning about protecting the rivers. So
I
if
think
you,
Michael has said it all. As you say, we are running out of time.
yeah, but what I mean
You
is
know,
that
I really want to
if
take this opportunity to say
hold on,
thank
Father
you.
Coffee, hold on a second or so, please. What when I talk about being aggressive in protecting the river, what I mean is that like Delices now has an upliftment committee that says that we are responsible for the river. So if tomorrow morning somebody from the village sees a backhoe in the river working, they're supposed to be able to find out who is that backhoe, what is it there for?
Right.
Did you guys consult with the
Was there an
village?
environmental impact study done?
Right. Did
Yeah,
you? But
stuff
at
like
the
that.
basic, did who from the village knows that you're going to be in the river doing whatever, and how did they come about saying that it was okay to do it? That from a basic level, that's what I think we want to encourage. That when you go to Castle Bruce and you see a heavy equipment in the river, a Belfry River, somebody from the village is supposed to say, if you see somebody beating your child, or you see somebody taking advantage of your child, you're going to step forward and say, that is my child. What do you think you're doing? We want people to treat the rivers in
Right.
the same manner.
We have to
So
be
that's what I want to point out, that folks, if we appreciate the river, but with the appreciation, we have to demonstrate it by not being violent or whatever, but letting people know that this river is not open season. You cannot just come and do what you want in our river. You need to consult with us.
right.
Remember Jesus in the temple when he saw what was happening. He said, "You're turning my father's place into a marketplace," and he turned over the tables that they were selling on. So Jesus was rough when he had to, you know, and that's what you're saying. You know, violence,
Yes.
you know, can be helpful sometimes, you know. In fact, I've had the
No, you have to be.
experience of that as well.
Mhm.
You know, when people, I
Sure.
mean, my first assignment was in Mount Prosper and no lights. I went there in August after Hurricane
David.
79.
Uh-huh.
And I went there in 83 and they still didn't have lights in Mount Prosper. And I was told, if you mobilize the people, we will put lights. So we mobilized the people. I sent the chairperson of the village council to the company and they say, oh, that's too small. You know, we haven't got that money to spend on a little village. So when I heard that, I went back to him. I say, are you aware that the line from Trafalgar is passing through Mount Prosper to go to Roseau? You know, and the people know that, you know what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Just
So
just
now
light a
and then,
buka,
you know, you
light a
have to
buka by the
keep
pole, you know.
cakes in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's okay to be
Yeah,
rough
but that is
sometimes.
a very, the aggressiveness and the proactiveness is a very important point, because sometimes it doesn't look like a dangerous event, but there must be impact studies. For example, we might have some fish in the White River that are unique to the White River.
Exactly.
And here comes a construction company digging up the soil along the banks of the river. That's going to disrupt the natural habitat of that distinct fish we have in the river. So
Exactly.
we need to ensure that information is power, and we need to ensure that we can vocalize our intentions clearly, you know, and create protocols so that when things like that are happening or about to happen, that the village is notified, you know, and we can do our due diligence and ensure it's done the proper way. So I'm wholeheartedly 100%, you know, behind the aggressiveness of how we challenge um, the river programs, because, you know, 95% of the times we'll have to change the culture of how we look at that God-given gift that He gave to us.
Exactly. Father Coffee, I know you were going to say thanks a while ago, but before we go, I want to talk a little bit about legislation. That do we have sufficient legislation and it's just not being enforced, or do we need more better legislation to protect our rivers?
I don't know what to say, when it comes to legislation. For instance, a simple, what department in government department that's responsible for the rivers? Is it
Really?
forestry? Is it agriculture? Is it environment? Is it planning? You know, which department? I don't know. Mr. Etienne is in the system himself. Maybe he could advise me. There's no department responsible. Or somebody might be responsible for the land. Somebody else might be responsible for the water. But I think legislation needs to be put in place.
But that is
We
what
need to ratify World Rivers
right.
Day.
But that is where
Yeah.
that is where groups like the Delices Upliftment Committee comes in. Um, Sometimes we might not be doing the right thing by saying, "Hey, who is responsible for this? Who is responsible for that?" When we adopt the river, we need to be able to go to to the people in charge and say, "Hey, listen, we have ways to guide you all. We have put in place things that we need to do that will enable you to make the right decision moving forward." And that is where we have failed in our communities. We are very slow to take ownership of what we need to do in the furtherance of our communities, and yet still we are looking for action that will help us to take on those responsibilities. We have to create those groups. We have to take ownership. We have to reclaim our responsibility and say, hey, listen, for example, the aggressiveness you talked a while ago, we put protocols in place and say, hey, listen, you need to do it this way and that way. So here we are. We have studied our rivers. We have done impact studies. We have no environment studies. We know what our rivers and is involved in our rivers. So you know what? Instead of planning taking over the rivers, let the environmental community take over the rivers. Instead of the environment take over the rivers, let agriculture take over the rivers. Instead of agriculture, let forestry take over the rivers. Or within those groups, put a committee in place to take over the rivers, so that one hand will know there'll be synergy at the top. One hand will know what the other one is doing, and we can take this program forward. Okay, but I believe that now is a starting point. I believe with the advent of climate change, the onus is upon us to ensure a future for future generations. And we have to be proactive. We have to be aggressive in the right way. And we have to enable governments of the day to put legislation in place that will positively impact our environment, that will save it for our future. Because one day we are going to be the shrines and ancestors that they talk about. So we have to preserve it so that when the reaches, we can be called those people.
Okay.
In fact, just
Fellow Coffee, let's get closing remarks.
to
Go
forward
ahead, make your
discussion,
last point.
we
Make
talk
your last
about
point, and then
legislation.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only water source or catchment that is protected by the Constitution of Dominica is a Springfield catchment, where the Wasco have the water catchment.
Water area one.
That is the only catchment that's protected by the Constitution of Dominica. So take that and go with as far as, and in fact, the place the Constitution was written to protect, they have moved away from that actual area. So we can say today, no water catchment in Dominica is protected by the Constitution. Again, they can take us on that and say, maybe I'm saying something wrong, but prove me wrong, publicly. I've made a statement as we have done before. So yes, thank you, Upliftment Committee, for deciding to adopt one of the rivers that still exist in your community. It was a pleasure being on your program this evening. At first I wasn't, well, when I was invited, I was willing, but God is in control. I really believe that. And Pope Francis calls from September 1 to October 4, the season of creation, and I'm disappointed our church have not responded to that season of creation. We do a lot of talk about so many things, but if the Pope is saying, as Catholics, as Christians, we have to take ownership of our earth, as Michael said, before we know it, it will be gone. Oh, look at our freshwater lake. What is happening to it that the level is so low in 2023? So I invite you to join us on the last Sunday in September, this Sunday, and let us celebrate all the waters that we have all over the island.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Father Cuffy, for coming on.
thank you. Thank you
Michael,
again.
Michael, go ahead.
Yes.
Your last remarks.
Yes. I am very I'm overjoyed with this program. We need more programs such as this to highlight the importance of the work we are endeavoring to do in Dominica in preserving our pristine country. Um, again, I'm appealing to the citizens of Dominica to join us. You don't have necessarily need to come to Delices. You know, a river. The guy that started World Rivers Day took care of the river in his backyard. So if there's a stream in your backyard, a river in your backyard, clean it up on that day. If you can't come to Delices, let each of us do something on that day that is positive in preserving our rivers of this country. In closing, I see Alvin A. Thomas wants my number. It's 285-6673. WhatsApp is best. 767-285-6673. Once again, Mr. Anthony Drago, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. And thank you for inviting us to this program.
Thank you so much for coming, Father Cuffy. I'm happy that you came.
Yes,
Because the work that you do.
I'm happy I did. I could not show up. I had to show up on occasion like this. I will always show up in spite of the challenges.
Mm-hmm. And you know, at TDN, that's what we try to do. Every year we try to recognize World Soil Day, World Water Day, World Rivers Day. Because we believe that those three elements are in abundance and high quality in Dominica, and they are our treasures. We do stuff on health as well. The month of September is prostate cancer awareness.
So could I ask you to put March 14 on your calendar as well? March 14 internationally is a day of action for rivers. March 14, and
March 14,
after World Rivers Day, we'll start promoting that.
Okay, so let's see if we can get together and plan something special.
And we do an action.
Correct. So let's plan. Let's make a plan to do something special for March 14th.
Yeah.
Okay. We will use our resources and technology.
And we'll let the Upliftment Committee lead us in that. They have started a good way.
We will celebrate the achievements that they have had between now and March as part of that event.
At least by March we should have the. We should have 12
Can I show you that this is a little token to encourage you, okay, for your service. I know there's plenty more available.
Where it comes from. You have to organize yourself to receive.
Right.
You know, you have to dig your trenches.
Father Cuffy said something. He said that
even the Prime Minister said that as well.
The church is not responding to that creativity stuff. But I would like to remind him that we are the church as well. And the Delices Upliftment Committee is responding. So, yes.
I was impressed. I must say I was impressed. As I said, you know, Laros Church is a place where I celebrated my first Mass on the 16th of July, 1984. You know,
and the Upliftment Committee will be pushing to...
so I'm happy to retain that.
Yeah.
And the guy who was ordained with me at the Roseau Cathedral, we are burying him tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, that's I say that might be my last Mass. I'm studying Father Glanville Joseph from Antigua. We spend our studies as students together for 6 years in Ireland. We went to Trinidad together. I saw it was with him in Brooklyn, you know, in June. You know, unfortunately, I couldn't go to cannot travel to his funeral, you know, tomorrow. The wake is tomorrow, and the burial is.
Our condolences to you and the church family and his family as well.
Okay.
Yes, all right. Thank you. So his mother is in England, 94.
90 years. Okay. As I was saying, tonight was a special program because the rivers are close to me. I grew up in Castlebrus before we had pipe-borne water. I remember when pipe water came to Castlebrus. And so we used to do everything in the river: bathe, wash, drink water from the spring, and all of that. And on top of that, I also worked at Dowasco for a number of years. I was chief engineer at Dowasco for a number of years, and a lot of the rural water projects I was involved in designing and constructing a lot of them. So I'm very familiar with the rivers of Dominica. Our land at Castlebrooks borders the Lyre River in by that the bridge at the stretch, and so the rivers are something that's close to me. Our entertainment on the weekend was to go and have a picnic next to the river. We used to go and catch crayfish. We collect VO. All of those things. Customers have a really nice bushy. That's where we used to celebrate our village feast. So I grew up enjoying the rivers of Dominica, and so
Well,
what that's the spirit.
I live in Belfast, and I used to enjoy sitting and listen to the children playing in the Belfast River during the summer. I used to call that the summer choir, and now we have no access
Right.
to the Belfast River. That's why I'm happy for the first time we might
Wow.
have a message from the minister, our pal rep, who is Minister of Health. Every year we have Minister of Environment talking about environment, but this year we're talking about healthy environment, healthy rivers, healthy nation. And we are expecting a message. He will not be in Dominica at that time, but he said he will write a message, and that will be read. So this year, for the first time, I'm saying might, be having a message from the Minister of Health. So I miss the summer choir, as I call it, in the Belfast River. Why? You have so many buildings around that river. Nobody cares, not even the community. The people in the community who care damn. Because if the
Right.
people in the community cared, we will not have that situation that the kindergarten teacher cannot take her students to the river on World Water Day. Something she has been doing over the years. And
Mhm.
that's where we are today. So I miss my summer choir listening to the children singing. And to me, that in itself is a kind of abuse of our rivers, abuse of our children, and abuse of our people in
Of
Maho.
our
But
community
unless the
and
people of
our
Maho
heritage.
stand up, that will continue and worse.
And it will get worse because it doesn't stay the same. And so our the quality of our water is linked so closely to the quality of our health,
Yeah.
a quality of our life expectancy. The availability of water is so strongly linked to our development. But not just the availability, but the use and the proper stewardship of our water. It tells a lot towards the development. Last year when I had Dr. Alan Williams, who wrote the book Deluge, on my program, and he gave a really nice perspective that it's not so much that there's a shortage of water, is the availability of the water. When the water is passing by, because it doesn't stay, it is passing by on the way to the ocean. How do we interact with it on that journey that is making towards the ocean? And it's our responsibility to interact with it in a way that doesn't negatively impact the next person downstream that's going to be
Right.
working with us. Or when it gets to a destination, it doesn't carry poison or contamination to that next area. And the same way that Delices and your community and its interaction with the White River can be an example. I think Dominica is well placed to be an example for the world as to how we should value water and we should treat water. In the US where I live, there is a Clean Water Act.
Yeah.
I think Dominica needs an equivalent, an even stronger um, Dominica Act. We're lucky that we had a visionary leader in the form of Mr. E.O. LeBlanc, who established our national parks and prevented too much activity taking place in the interior,
Right.
which helped to protect and preserve
Repeat that. Repeat
the
that again.
catchment areas.
Yeah, the water catchment area.
The establishment of the national parks, that helped to preserve the forest, which is the catchment area for so many of our rivers. We were lucky that that was done.
Did you say there's no activity happening in those national parks? Did I hear
there
you
is
say that?
no, there's
I'm
activity
just asking.
happening
I'm just
now.
asking.
No. What I'm saying is that we were lucky that we had those that act enacted. Now we have to make sure that we continue to enforce the laws, because for all these years we've benefited from the passing of that act. Maybe now we need to revisit it, strengthen it, provide resources to enforce it, but at least we have a place to start from, and we have evidence of the benefit of government being proactive in that realm. Father Coffee is, I guess, is suggesting or is saying that it is no longer the case that our national parks are held as sacred,
Right.
and those are being violated. I think that's what you're saying, Father Coffee.
Yes,
So
yes,
I'm pointing
exactly.
it out that we benefited from it, and we should not let it fall away, and we lose that benefit. There's so much work to do. You know, Dominicans say that they're proud of nature, they're proud that we have so many rivers, they're proud of our water quality. But if you're proud of something, your actions towards it is supposed to demonstrate that pride. And
Yeah.
so that is my appeal to listeners, is to embody that. What makes us Dominica? A big part of us being Dominica is our rivers, our water, the amount of rainfall we get, our relationship with our rivers. And as Michael quoted, that the rivers are the arteries of the globe. Well, there's no better demonstration of that than in Dominica. And we see when we violate our rivers and we get some rain, it's as if you have a blood vessel in your body that's ruptured,
And
and it destroys that part of the body, and you have to come back and try to heal it. You know, and if it goes far enough, it will be a stroke or something.
yeah.
And so that's a really good demonstration. Dominic is a prime example. So we are uniquely placed. A lot of people describe Dominica as Eden, that God gave Dominica a very special place and a very special role, which puts a lot of responsibility on us Dominicans who occupy that space to be good stewards of those gifts, and to have something to pass on. Today, you said you planted fruit trees with kids.
Right.
So, you know, a wise person told me that one of the most selfless acts a person can do is to plant a tree, especially a fruit tree, because most likely you are not going to be the one eating that
It's
fruit.
not for tree. I told him that
You
today.
you're planting it for the future.
For the
And
future.
so but you did it with kids who are young, and so they might benefit from it.
Right.
So yes, we need to be able to make those connections. It's good that you're starting with a church service because it connects to spirituality. I like the poem that we did, which gives
Yeah.
some divinity to nature and the river, and say that it's a shrine. If we embody that in its totality, I think we can make a difference. Father Coffee, we need to talk about March 14th and see and brainstorm on some ideas as to what we
No,
can do to make it
you
memorable.
spoke about the church service. Well, I would like us to really celebrate from sunrise to sunset. You know, if you can get people in every village on the rising of the sun to blow the conch
Mhm.
shell, you know, on world rivers, something is happening.
Yeah.
That's a good
You
idea.
know,
Yeah.
if we can get at the same time on World
But
Rivers
yeah.
Day, you just blow the conch shell for how long you want,
This
you
is a
know, and
this is
then
an idea.
from sunset to
This
sunrise,
is an idea we can.
celebrate World
This is
Rivers
an
That's a
idea we
very
can.
good idea.
But
That's
we
a
can
very,
develop.
very good idea.
Yeah, we can develop it really well for March 14th as well.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I like that. I like
So
that.
thank you for
Okay,
having
so
us. We really, really appreciate that. And I'm
thank
sure
you for coming.
our ancestors will are dancing, you know, to say that we are celebrating
Yeah.
And I want to
them
say a very
and
special
recognizing the work, the seeds that they have planted.
thank you. I want to say a very special thank you
Yes.
to all the listeners who stayed with us for the entire time and participated really well in there. There was a lot of appreciation by the audience for both of you gentlemen and the work that you do. There's a lot of gratefulness that's being expressed out here. So let's continue working. Sometimes it might look like we're in the wilderness working by ourselves, but sometimes we come on Oasis and we realize that it was not in vain. So congratulations, gentlemen, on what you have achieved so far,
Thank
and I
you.
wish you continued strength and vigor to continue the fight. We are available with a live mic and an audience that you can just call on us for anything, and we are here to
That's awesome.
assist with that. So
Thank you.
folks, I want to tell everybody, do something special to recognize World Rivers Day. Participate in it. It's a wonderful, especially to Dominica, as I keep saying, because we have so many rivers. But water is important all over the world. Water is important, and it's so important to engage young people. Father Coffee spoke about the 4-H Club was on Donkey Beach doing coastal and ocean cleanup on Sunday. The first group that I belonged to was the 4-H Club in Castle Bruce. And then in secondary school, the Duke of Edinburgh Award Scheme as a young adult and professional, the JC's movement. And just in the 4-H Club, I remember we did a cleanup campaign where we went along the river and the beach and picked up trash. And that's where it developed, inculcated in me not to litter, because you get a clear demonstration of the cookie wrapper for your biscuit that you throw out of the bus when you're traveling. It ends up in the sea and on the shore. And when you see that and you pick up 10 bags of trash, you become aware that you should not litter. And when you see somebody littering, you always want to say something to them. And so let us all participate. Folks, I thank you for staying with me. I thank you to my guests, Father Coffee and Mr. Michael Etienne of the Delices Upliftment Committee. I wish you guys all the best, good weather. I want to thank the universe for keeping the lights on. We were worried that either Father Coffee or Michael would have lost power, because we know that Dominic is having some challenges as we speak in terms of electricity, again, which is linked to water, because a big part of the problem is associated to the lack of production of the hydro plant, which resulted in excessive use of the diesel generators, which could not carry the strain and broke down. And so again, all how we turn in Dominica, all our angles we look at it from, we see that dependence and that reliance on water and preserving the gift that was given to us. And so, folks, thank you. Next week is the last Wednesday of September, so I'm going to go back into the theme of health and talk about month of September being Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. We're bringing back the Bushman, and we're going to talk about herbs that will help support your prostate health. We'll probably have a few examples of packages that the Bushman will put together that you can obtain for those men and women with men in their lives as well. You know the importance of prostate health, and we're so with encouragement to go take the test, and in that as well, we'll encourage men to support their prostate health with herbs and other natural healing. So, folks, I want to say good night and have a wonderful remainder of the week. If you're going through, some folks have lost their loved ones, our condolences to you, our sympathies with you. If you're celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, exam results, whatever it is, congratulations. And just have a good time until we meet again next week, Wednesday. Good night, everyone.
White river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine. Water from the heavens, fire from the earth, volcanic eruption gave you birth. Earth, air, fire, water, elements combine, like the star of rivers. You shine, white river, so divine, to our ancestors, you're a shrine.